Hello everybody, Melissa here at TCT Crafts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our channel. Today we are going to be making a Valentine's Day arrangement or design. It's going to be a little bit floral, a little bit fun and whimsy with these glitter hearts. So this will be probably our last Valentine's arrangement for this year. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you guys again for tuning in. If you have not already subscribed, we would love to have you. We do all things wreaths, decor, arrangements, grapevines, a little bit of fake bakes, all kinds of things here. So we would love to have you subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and you'll be notified every time we have a new tutorial. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be using this little wicker basket. It is an 8-inch basket. I have no idea where I picked it up from. It just says $10 on it. I can guarantee I did not pay $10 for this basket, so I'm not sure where it came from, but it just is a little wicker basket. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using. And we're going to use just a little piece of this floral foam. So we're going to get this placed right in the center right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some of my super glue. We're just going to add some super glue all the way around the bottom. And then we'll also add some hot glue just to help hold it while that super glue dries. Okay, so I'm just going to take some hot glue as well and get that added. Okay, I'm going to push that nice and firm down in there. And then we're going to get our Spanish moss. I'm going to get a little bit of my Spanish moss. And we'll kind of tuck in around the sides. This is always the messiest part. I hate working with the Spanish moss, but it has a purpose, right? I'm going to get a couple of our floral pens. Looks like I need to restock these. I'm not going to worry about pushing them in there too much. Just maybe one on each corner. So we're going to be adding lots of florals and things in here that'll help hold that down as well. Let's go ahead and get some more. Just add one here in the corner. Alright, a little bit more. Alright, now I'm just going to tuck some of those little flyaways down here on the sides. And we'll be good to go. Alright. I would have sent that flying. We'll get that later. Okay, let me clean up a little bit of this mess because I cannot stand having all of this on the table while I am working. It's such a mess. Okay. So what I have envisioned, hopefully turns out okay. In my head, it's going to look great, but we'll actually see once we get it put together how it turns out. So we're going to use these little foam hearts. They're actually little ornaments. I just cut off the little ornament string, and we're going to get these placed using just some wooden skewers or dowels. So I'm just going to go right through the bottom of a heart. Push that up in there. Let me get some glue on there now. Okay. We're going to use 3 of these, so I'm going to let that dry while we prep the other ones. So again, I'm just going to cut the little ornament off. A little string there. And let's get this. That one's kind of bent. Let's get a different one. And these are styrofoam, so this should just slide right up in there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. Do our last one. We're going to use 3 of these. So my thought was we would stagger these. Into 3 different. All right, I'm going to let that dry. We'll go back to our first one that we did. So we're going to do 3 different heights. I know I don't need this that tall. So I'm thinking I have to switch the camera view for you guys, but thinking 1 right there. Okay, then we're going to go in with a taller one, sort of in the back. Okay, let me cut it down. Before I glue these, we'll just kind of get our placement. Okay, let me fix the camera so you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay. Hopefully now you can see what we're doing a little bit better. Okay, let me cut this one a little shorter. Thinking I want this one even shorter. Yes. Okay, so we're going to have these 3 different kind of heights. This one is our tallest, and then this one is shorter than this one, just by a little bit. Okay, so I like that. So let's go ahead and get these glued in. I'm just going to dip it in my glue pot, get a nice generous amount of glue on there. Get this one right back here in the back. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Let's let that set and dry for a second. Okay, now let's go in with, I brought in a couple different greeneries. I brought in some ferns. I brought in this. I think we're going to start with this. This is our mixed lamb's ear, maidenhair, and blossom seed spray. So we're just going to give this a nice fluff. Get this all kind of bent and moving and wispy. And like it just didn't come out of the box, right? So give it some movement. And get our lamb's ear. See. Be willing to just manipulate it how you want it. Please bend so we can get it whatever direction that we want it to go. Okay. So we're going to have one kind of go right back here. I know I don't need it that long, so let me go ahead and cut it down. I'm going to go right here, back behind. And right here, back behind this heart. Okay, we're going to get another one and go back behind this one. So again, I'm just going to move our greenery around, give it some movement, bend it. I think this one I want a little higher. Okay, so let me go ahead and get our glue on that. Bend these branches like you want them. They work for you. They are all wired. Okay, and now we're going to go in with our last one right here in the center, and it's going to be short. I'm going to have it shorter. So again, just shape this, bend it, move it, make it work for you. I'm going to cut it short because it's going to sit right down in the center just like that. Okay. Let me get some glue on that. And then I'll switch the view so you can see what we're working with so far. Let me manipulate this how I want it. Give it a good bend. I'm going to give this a bend. It's going to kind of hang over the front a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so here's what we have so far. We've got our 3 pieces. We've got our staggered hearts. And the back just looks like that. Okay? So let's move on. Let's bring in a little bit of our fern. So I brought in a bushy fern. So we're going to add a few pieces of this. It's just a leftover piece that or a leftover bush that I had from another project. So I'm just going to clip some of these leaves. I'm going to try to pull as much as I can so I can get the wire. Once you can get some of this off, then you can kind of get some of the other ones unwrapped. Some of them are easier than others to unwrap. This one was wrapped pretty good. Okay, there we go. So I'm just getting some of our fern pieces. I don't know how many we'll use, but we'll just go ahead and cut them all up. And I can save them for another project if we don't use them. This will be the second project I've got out of this bush, so it's always good. Okay. So let's go in with some of our fern pieces. Let me see where I want. I think I want one right in the back here. Okay, so I'm just going to put it right there. Okay, let's go in with one sort of in the center. I'm going to give this a bend. As you can see, I gave that a bend. I'm going to go right in the center here. And let me bend this a little bit more towards the bottom so that it has more of a flow up. There we go. I like that. Okay, so I gave it more height with my bend. Okay, let's do one on the other side with a little bit of a bend. I like that. Let's go on the side down towards the bottom so that it kind of hangs over. Just going right in that foam, and I'm just giving this a bend. It's going to kind of hang over and just touch the table ever so slightly. Okay, let's add a couple pieces at the back. This will help cover up our wooden dowel right here. We want to cover that up, right? So we're going to tuck this in right behind this, and that'll help cover that wooden dowel up. So I'm going to go right behind there and just cover that up. And I think what we're going to do as well, just to give this, because this is up higher, just to give it a little bit of stability from wobbling, let's take a little piece. Let's see if I have some floral wire up here. Do I have floral wire? I do not. We'll just take a little piece. I got a little piece of pipe cleaner. Let's take a little piece of pipe cleaner and just tie it around the stem and that greenery. We're going to hide it with our other greenery so you won't see it. That's just going to help hold that in place, just to give it a little bit extra support. If I had floral wire, you could use floral wire. That'd be better. Okay, so now, don't worry about that little piece. We're going to cover that up. Okay, but now that's kind of a little bit more secure. Let's go in. Oh, I got a piece of the sticker on this one right there. Okay, let's go in with this one. And I'm going to have it kind of coming out a little bit. Just a little bit like that. Bend it how you like it. Okay. And let's go on this side. I think I'm going to save that piece for the side. Let's get a taller piece for up here. So I'm going to put it in. I'll give it a little bit of a bend. There we go. Let's go in with this shorter one and let's put it on the side here. I'm going to go kind of in the center of that foam so that it kind of hangs off the side a little bit. Just like that other one hung off on that other side. We've got this one kind of hanging off here. Let's do down at the bottom. I'm actually going to cut this one a little shorter. This one is not giving me much of a stem. Try to get that wire. Here we go. There we go. Okay, got a little piece coming off there. Now let me look. Got one more piece. So I'm trying to see if I want a piece down here or if I think I want to put it let's go in with it. I'm going to cut some of these leaves off to give me a little bit more of a stem. And I'm going to go more in the center of my foam. Push it down so that that kind of hangs down right here in the front. Okay. So it looks like a little bit of a hot mess right now, but it's going to all come together once we get our florals added. So let me flip the view and I'll show you what we have so far. Okay, so here's what we have so far. We've got some of our fern hanging, we have our mixed bushes, and we have our glittery little hearts. So let's add in our florals. Okay, so I wanted to break up a little bit of that. I wanted to break up the pink with a little bit of our cream. So we're going to go in with some of our cream roses. These are like they're very realistic looking, like the Real Touch, I guess you call it, Real Touch roses. Let me get a drink real quick. So I'm going to cut these into 3 sections. I'm going to leave it long for right now until we figure out where they're going to go. Let me save this little leaf because we can use it for filler. Okay, so I know we have our long one. I'm just going to go probably right here in the center. I'm going to need it a little bit shorter, so let me cut it down just a hair. Okay, so we have that one there. We have our trying to see where I want this one. I want it in the back corner. I think I do. I think I want it back here in the back corner. Okay, so diagonal. Now our little bud, I think we're going to put down lower. We're going to put our little bud down here. And give it a little bit of a bend. Okay. Now let's get cut up one more. Well, I'm trying to see. Let me think. if I want one more of that or if I want to bring in. I also brought in this bush that I thought we could bring in. I don't think I want to bring in those pinks, but I could bring in some of this. Let's go ahead and cut up another one of these. Okay, but I'm going to make these smaller. So I want one right down in here. Okay. I think I can get this tall enough. I think I want one right there. Added that one there. Let's do this other. I need another one back here on the back. I'm going to go low with it right there. So this will be primarily a front-facing design, but we still want it to be pretty on the back side. Trying to see where I want this one. I think we're going to do it over here. There we go. We'll save these because we'll use them for filler when we get ready to make sure we don't have any spots showing, any holes. Just going to maneuver our fern a little bit. Just going to play with my fern a little bit. Just kind of bend it how I want it. All right, let me show you what we have. So here's what we have so far. Okay, and then the back. So we're starting to cover everything up. We've got a few more things to add. All of this just out of a basket. Okay, so let me cut off these leaves because we'll use these potentially if we need them for filler. I like the leaves on these. So we'll save them. If I don't like the leaves, I chunk them, but these leaves I like, so we'll save those. Okay. Now I brought in our wisteria foliage spray. This adds a little bit of fun to the project. It also brings in a little bit lighter color, and I love how it has the fun little vines. So we're going to use some of these. I'm going to cut them up. So I love how it gives us these little wispy vines that we can place in here. I'm just going to dip it in my glue. Go right down in that foam. And now we have this fun little wispy branch right there. Well, this piece we may cut up, but let me see. And to see if I want to leave it all as one or cut it up. I think we can just leave it all as one, and then I can just move these around. Okay, so I'm just going to hit that with my glue gun so I don't have to pull it back out. Once your arrangement starts getting full, it gets harder and harder to pull stuff out. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of move these around where I want them. Let's add one of these pieces towards the front. Okay, I just added that right there, and you see how it's breaking up that color, giving that little pop with that green. I love that. Okay, let's do one on the other side. Okay, so I have one, this one I kind of had going down. This one I have kind of coming up. And then we have our taller ones in the back. Okay, so we're just gonna add one of those, just a little pop of color there. Now let's see, I want to see if I want to go in with some of these to bring a little bit of the pink. I don't want this rose, I don't think. The color's not quite right. But adding a little bit of the pink I think will be good, even though it's just slightly a different color. It'll just add a little bit of the pink to our arrangement. Okay, so I'm going to add that right there. So that just has a little bit of it with our cream versus that whole flower head. I think that would have been too much. So now we can just add a little bit of the pink, okay? So I'm gonna pull a couple of these off that have our pink on there. Let's do one down at the bottom. So I'm gonna cut this one shorter. And we'll save the rest of the bush for a different project. Okay. I'm going to kind of move this under. We were kind of hiding our land there a little bit with that fern. Get a little bit of that showing. Okay, let's put a piece right in there. Some around the sides and the back. I think I'm going to go in with, let's go in with this little piece. I'm not sure what it is, but it'll go good right here on the side. Let's add one on either side of this main spine that we had, where we tied that in a while ago. We'll put one on either side of that, and that'll help cover that up. So you're not going to see our mechanics with a little pipe cleaner. Okay, let's do something here on the side. Let's add maybe another one of these little thistle-y looking things. I don't know what they are. We can right down there on the side. Okay, let me just hit that with my glue gun so I don't have to pull it back out. Let's see what we're looking at. Okay, we've kind of got a hole right here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. We kind of got a hole right there. So we need a little something there. So let's see. What do you think? Kind of like that there. Let's go use this to fill our little hole in. Okay, and I think we need a little something back there. We got a little empty. We're heavy on the front. We need a few little pieces right back in here. So let's see if we can get one of these and keep it tall. If I can hit my phone, then I'll dip it in the okay, let me dip it in my glue pot. This is where if I had my pick machine, it'd be good. Okay. All right. Now let's add one more. Maybe right here, we'll add this piece. There we go. All right, I think it is looking good. Let me see. Okay, I think now we can just go in and fill with our bottom filler flower. Trying to see if I want one more piece. You know me, more and more and more and more. I don't know when to stop. I almost think we need something right here. Yes, I like that. Okay, so let me switch the camera and I'll show you where we're at. And we're just going to fill in the bottom now with our last little greenery. It's just going to help hide our styrofoam and just around the base and the back. So here is our beautiful little arrangement so far, just out of this tiny little basket. Okay, so we're going to go in with our last greenery and we're going to start greenery, can't even speak today. We're going to start putting the greenery around the bottom just to kind of fill that in just a little bit. We're not going to use too much. This is where you could also just use some of these leaves and you could tuck in if you didn't want to go in with another greenery. So you can just take some of these You can poke down in there. So we definitely could do that. I think I want to go in with just a tiny bit of this bush. This is a maidenhair bush. It's just in a lighter shade of green, and that's going to help bring in a little bit of the lighter green that we used in this wisteria. Okay, and this is a pusher bush, meaning you can push these stems up or down to make them long, or you can make them more clustered. I want these more clustered because I'm going to be going right around the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to go right around the bottom and filling in here in the back. We're not going to use too much, just a little bit. Let's get up underneath our rose petal. Okay, let's get right on the side, right in here. Okay. I'm going to kind of move those right underneath our little rose right there. Let's get one right here. We are almost done. Now, if you wanted yours a little bit more airy and you weren't worried about the bottom down there, you could leave this off. It's your design. You design it however you like. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to add there. I think it turned out beautiful. I don't even think we need to add any of our little leaves. So I think we already have quite a bit going on there. I played my fern just a little bit. I'm going to kind of bend it. And there we go. Now we have a beautiful Valentine's arrangement with a little bit of glitter, but still very pretty and elegant. Turn it around and show you guys. This is what we have. Turned out super cute using that little bitty basket, and started with the foam glitter hearts, and I think it turned out beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, bye y'all.